common denominator.
And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Let's talk about something important. Put that coffee down.
I'm not here to waste your time.
Everyone has access to the information. We just know how to analyze it better.
Where else you gonna have this much fun?
You the man.
Todd Father.
Show me the money.
What I've been doing, had to triple my bag. Had to triple my bag. Wow. Had to triple my bag. Wow. Had to triple my bag. Yeah. Had to triple my bag.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, it's no trick to make a lot of money. All you want is to make a lot of money.
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another live episode of Learn Crypto. My name is Nick Hellman.
I'm Todd Butterfield.
Man, it is a good day in the markets. We're seeing a little bit of green, a lot of good news. SEC saying that Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities. We're going to read their article and talk about what other coins I think fall into that category as well. That's kind of a sigh of relief, and give some regulatory guidelines to accredited and institutional investors kind of waiting on the sideline. We also got Grayscale announcing that their next product for digital assets will be for ZEN Cash. So this will be similar to the Ethereum Classic, I would assume. Ethereum Classic on the traditional OTC market right now is selling at for a 200% premium. I would expect the same for ZEN. It's nice to see them continuing to add some products over there. And then we got a couple other good things as well. I think Bittrex announced that they are starting phase 2 of their USD rollout over on their exchange. So that is good. It's going from, they said it was like institutional investors only. Now they're slowly releasing it to retail investors. And when they talk about USD trading, I'm wondering if that's going to be able to link right up to your bank account. And that way you can actually go in and out of the markets that way. That would be interesting and be another fiat onboarding platform for investors coming into the space. So with that being said, I mean, it is rainy and dreary out here tonight, but we're here for a show. So if the cameras look a little dark, it's probably because it is like pitch black outside.
Right.
And we're going to have Todd looking at the charts. See
Decred.
Decred.
Ethereum. Zen.
Todd did say to buy Decred last night. We are seeing some good price action. They are getting listed to a few more exchanges tonight. So you might see some pumps on that and some opportunity to scalp trade on those as well. So keep an eye out for that. And let's just get this thing started. Let's see what we got here.
Let's go.
Let's see. So let's refresh this. Things are moving so fast today. We are still below the $300 billion market, $288.5 billion, but Bitcoin dominance is coming down a little bit. We are obviously seeing some nice gains out of some of these altcoins here today. Bitcoin up to 66.44, up almost 5% for the day. Ethereum had a good push. At one point it was up 10% for the day. Now it's up 8% to $516. This has been a concern for a lot of Ethereum holders and speculators whether or not Ethereum would be considered a security. If it was, people fear regulation, therefore they just weren't holding on as tight. Now that it has been deemed a non-security, so it'll be treated as a commodity just like Bitcoin and some of these other UTXO products like Vertcoin, Digibyte, and Litecoin, I assume would fall into the same category. Some people breathe a nice sigh of relief, and we're seeing the gains there. Ripple up 5%. They already have their logo changed here. I don't know about you guys, but that just doesn't look right. It doesn't look right to me. We'll see how that plays out for them. Bitcoin Cash up 6%, up to $894. EOS, we're going to talk about how their mainnet now is not only live, or not only launched, but is now live. They did receive the 15% vote needed, and the gains are a-coming. Up to 1129, up 11% for the day. We were talking about 150K to 160K SAT entry point on that. We hit the low of 148K SAT, so if you're listening to some of our price projections there, your bags are filled up, and we are back up around 165 or 170K Satoshis, I believe. So you're doing pretty well on that. We're seeing green really across the board, except for Tether, of course. Any big winners today in the top 100? We got Knowles up 20%. This is kind of an up-and-coming protocol token. I know Data Dash is all about this one here, saying that he thinks it's undervalued in the protocol space. So it might be worth taking a look at. Maybe I need to do a full fundamental review on that project as well. We have Shitcoin holding its gains up 16%. This was just added to Binance, I believe.
Yep.
Usually it dumps after that, but with all this good news and good sentiment in the ecosystem, it's holding most of those gains here. And then we got Decred up to $98.60, up 15% for the day. And like I said, in anticipation of it being added to 2 exchanges tonight, I could see that thing going higher. Now, once you see the pump, if it does pump when it gets on these exchanges, maybe you should scalp trade a little bit off that, take some profits off the table, and enjoy adding some USD Tether to buy some more of these projects. Well, I guess, we're seeing green. Everybody seems happy over in the chat box. Good to see. Look at this, almost double digit all the way down. I know Linda Coin had another really good day today as well, I believe. Only up 4%, actually down in BTC prices, but still at 36 Satoshis. So that gave everything back. It was having a good day there for a little bit. Just keeping an eye on some of these projects that we're liking. And let's throw it over to Todd. Let's see what the charts are saying and see if these price points can hold.
Well, good evening. We got the 30-minute Bitcoin, 6622. Kind of looks like, I said we did maybe a spring. We need really for volume and price appreciation to come in here and then test it maybe in 3, 4, 5 days. On Elliott Wave, it looked like we had a 1-2 off the low and possibly another 1-2. So again, let's see if we can get any strength come in here overnight. A lot of coins are acting way better. So that's the 30-minute Bitcoin. Let's go to 30-minute Bitcoin Cash. Most of these pretty well are all going to look the same. Dash, looking pretty well. Classic, going to be a little bit slower. Not quite sure why that one's not a little bit higher. That's a little disappointing. There is Ethereum with the good news. That chart looks really good. I said I still like that one. I think that's one that leads us back. Litecoin came off that 93 level. That one looks good as well. It looks like on a 1.618 rally here, Litecoin would be up around 111, 111.50, I think it is. So another 10% move there.
Also, real quick, the Stacking Stoner says, could you elaborate on what the upside of not being a security means? Essentially, now they don't have to file with the SEC, so they can be freely traded and used by anyone at any time. And also, you're going to get tax benefits with it being considered a commodity. You're going to be paying lower taxes on any trades or any profits you take. There's going to be less regulatory overhead to deal with. That's really going to, hold those prices down. And I expect, all other decentralized and non-ICO cryptos to really be considered commodities here on out. And we're going to talk about that here in a second when we read the SEC article. But those fall into the category of all UTXO products. So that'd be like Vertcoin, Litecoin, Digibyte, Bitcoin, etc. And then we can start digging through the names, and I think you need to start going through your portfolio and say, is this or is this not a security? Not that it is going to kill the project if it's considered a security, but if they decide not to be regulatory compliant, if you live in the United States, you might find yourself some issues, or they might be delisted from the U.S.-based exchanges like Bittrex, for example. They would probably have to delist it from Bittrex, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It will just be a little more concern if you're going to be a holder, if they do not decide to actually follow suit with the SEC.
There's Neo at 40.83, kind of normal action here. Here's Ripple, back to knocking on 56 cents. What was it? JP Morgan Ripple partnership rumor. Just got told that by McNugget. OMG up 7.74%. Here's ADA up 19%, back to a 17 handle. I think all these probably are just going to continue higher next 24 hours. So, I might be here this weekend, so we might try to run a live show sometime, or I might try to do it myself. There's Decred up to the 100 level. Let's go back to the 4 hour. It did come off the 82, 83 level, so that chart looks really, really good. I keep saying that, but that one's That one is staying strong.
Yeah, with the exchange releases tonight, I could see that going up to 115 and hitting that lower channel line you had there.
And there's EOS. I mentioned maybe spring the previous low like it did over here. So far that looks like a spring off of that level. Be nice again to see more continuation here before we do a backup. And then what else we got here? GNT USD, a little deep on the backup. That thing needs to put a little more upside together. Made up 12%. Trying to get back in the middle of the trading range. Strat USD is one we've been talking. It sprung its low, hopefully. Again, needs more strength here.
That one's really been a lagger, you know, for all the promises, etc. And they really are doing development over there, and they're making progress, but the market just isn't seeing it as beneficial, I guess.
There's Tron back into the middle of the trading range, up 9% today. And then we roll to XLM, up 10%. I still like XLM here. XVG at 30 cents. Not much to talk about there. ZEN 1943 up 14%. We mentioned that one we think is value. Nick's all over that one. Nice day today. ZRX up 15%, back to 94. That's one I like here as well, longer term. Let's look at ZIL. A nice ABC pullback. I would think that one is still pretty good as well. And then we'll go over some rest here in a minute.
Cool. So I'm going to steal this back, and we're actually, if you guys participated in the ZEN giveaway for your last night's live show, you got about 10 seconds to get over to that video from last night. Leave a comment with your ZEN wallet address. We're going to pick that one live. Also, we will be giving away a ZEN for tonight's show. So after this video, leave a comment in the comment section with your ZEN wallet address, and you are entered to win. It's that easy. I'll send this one to you immediately after the show, and tomorrow's winner will be announced on Friday, or I guess tonight's winner will be announced tomorrow. So last night I did send this tweet out. I said, you know, this is from, well, it doesn't say, but probably about 22 hours ago, because I guess I sent this after the live show. I said, buy the fear, dollar cost average to the finish line. You bought your first cryptos at the top. This is a great opportunity to reduce your cost basis on the way down. Just because you guys bought at the top and maybe you didn't take profits, I didn't take near enough profits in hindsight, but this is an opportunity to reduce the cost basis for all your favorite projects. Could we go lower? Potentially. Or do we have a chance of going much higher? Potentially. So I think this is a good opportunity. I thought obviously last night was a good opportunity since it was such a red day. I knew that this kind of conference event that Yahoo Finance was going to be doing today, but I did not anticipate all of the good news from the SEC, Grayscale, etc. I just thought it'd be another day of talking about cryptos, and so far that's playing out. So without further ado, I guess we'll just refresh this. We'll go ahead and pick a winner for the ZEN Cash from last night.
And the winner is...
Let's filter these. 31 unique comments. So you have a 1 in 31 chance of winning a ZEN coin worth probably about $20, $21 right now.
On the way to 200.
On soon to be triple digits. Barack Obama.
Dang,
Man,
Barack wins everything.
Barack.
It's got to be rigged.
How you doing this?
He got the course. He's getting the
I need
coins.
to copy and paste this real quick, guys. Sorry.
That's funny. Barack Obama.
Barack Obama is the winner.
Shout out to Michael Fahir in here. Another lifesaver overnight, as usual.
So Barack, if you're in here, shout out to you. After the show is over, I will send you 1 ZEN Cash coin. And don't forget, guys, if you want a chance to win, leave a comment in the comment section below with your ZEN Cash wallet address. I'll be giving out another one tomorrow. All right, on to some news here. What do we got going on? I guess I'll just touch base with this. I thought this was interesting. Overstock is saying they've been seeing roughly about $120,000 a week in cryptocurrency revenue, and the stock continues higher. I know this is one that you talked about in the past that you would be long on, Todd. I don't know exactly at what point you're buying and selling, but you know this is pretty bullish, not only for Overstock, but I think really for the cryptocurrency industry if other companies are noticing that Overstock is bringing in revenue from cryptos, it's really easy for the development team at Amazon or any of these other big websites to incorporate that plugin. Whether they keep them or not, you can use, Wahoo, where it automatically converts that crypto to USD for the provider for Amazon. But I think we're going to see more websites start adding in these plugins to be able to accept cryptocurrencies. I think that's pretty sweet. So the EOS blockchain is now officially live. Somebody says, congrats, ex-president.
Right. What up, Taj?
Oh, that's hilarious. The EOS blockchain is now live, guys. At press time, the blockchain has received more than 150 million votes needed to determine the individuals or entities that will maintain the distributed network. The world's 5th largest by total value, thus ending a week-long process that had been among the most complex the evolving cryptocurrency market has perhaps ever seen. Now, Tony was saying Bitfinex reached out to him and said, hey, you can vote even if your coins are on the exchange. So I'm assuming that is kind of what pushed them over the top. There's probably some other exchanges that help them as well. Now, you do have to remember, guys, EOS does have a $4 billion piggy bank here to make this thing work. Dan Larimer has made working projects. He's made BitShares, he's made Steemit, he's done some other ones as well. So it has a good opportunity here. And I think what was pulling down that price was after it launched, this kind of unsure, the FUD in the market of whether this vote was ever going to go through. It took a lot longer than expected, but we kind of hit the price objectives we set for you guys. And now the 15% has been made, and it will go live or is live. We'll kind of keep up to date with what EOS is doing, what is being built on there. And now that they're live, remember yesterday we talked about Binance will be supporting the 3 airdrops. So hopefully those 3 projects get in touch with Binance. And that way, if you are holding EOS on Binance, you're going to be getting some free coins, which I know we all love those freebies. Now, I'm sure everybody's been hearing it. Everybody's talking about Twitter, etc., and that is really driving the prices higher. SEC did announce today that cryptocurrency Ethereum is not a security, as well as including Bitcoin in that conversation, which you kind of already all assumed. Now, we kind of already talked about what this really means. That means that there's going to be way less regulatory overhead. If you are a United States citizen, you're going to have a lot more tax advantages with these being considered commodities. And I think this is a nice sigh of relief for all the institutional players that are looking to come into the space. Now, I also sent out a tweet earlier that said, do you think it's a coincidence that all of this good news is coming out now? I don't know. The pressure gets pushed down. And now, all of a sudden, all this good news, all this institutional money is waiting. All the institutional infrastructure is put in place with Coinbase doing their index. Grayscale has another product. We got NASDAQ. We got Fidelity, all moving their trading desks along. We'll see.
We might have that 10-day straight-up rally here somewhere.
Yeah, and
be careful. Might be coming.
The markets are meant to take the money from the many and give it to the few. Obviously, everybody in here is still holding their coins, so that is good to see. That's kind of what the thumbnail is. The suits are coming. The institutional money is coming. Do not give your coins up to them at these lows. If you really believe in the space, you have to believe there's much higher price objectives and utility objectives for these cryptocurrencies. So I would keep hanging in there, keep dollar cost averaging, and hopefully we can continue this green action for the week, for at least the 24 hours, but really we need to see this hold. I think once we get around 7,500, if we can break through that, I think things are really going to turn bullish. I'm sure Todd can talk about that here in a little bit as well.
What's up, Clint Sykes?
Let's see what's going on in the chat box. I see it moving really fast. I haven't been able to really read it. Johnny M. Cool says rigged like the elections. Stacking Stoner, I'm not going to read that comment, but that's pretty funny as well. What else we got? Michael Fahir in here. Shout out to you.
Yeah, if everybody knew this plate, we wouldn't be rocking if it wasn't for Mike.
Eddie's in here. It looks like he's new to the channel. Says Expedia now accepts Bitcoin. That is pretty awesome. I know there was a airline as well. I can't remember which airport it was, but they are now like the first international airport to be cryptocurrency compliant. I think they're accepting like 10 cryptocurrencies or something like that. That was really interesting. And at a lot of the restaurants, they actually had like Bitcoin teams there to show people how to download the wallets, help people spend Bitcoin in cryptocurrency. And that's really making a big play at helping grow this ecosystem. So as we continue to see more of that, all of us talk about cryptos and get our friends, family into it. I try to help you guys with as many questions as possible to get you really familiar with the wallets, with the staking, with the mining, etc. I think that's only more bullish for this ecosystem and for the retail investor especially.
Taj, my monitors are off because we're afraid about a DDoS, so I'm just trying to not have 100 windows open. So I got everything sleeping over there.
Going to sleep. So if you guys have any charts you want Todd to look at, I guess we'll bounce back over there. Maybe he'll have some price objectives. Our worst case scenario if this little mini bull run here doesn't hold. What are you thinking over there, Todd?
I was going to say something, but I'll keep it to myself. Bitcoin 66.58. I think we'll see higher prices overnight. So somebody want to know what was our favorite shit coins? I don't really like a lot of shit coins. I like a few smaller caps, maybe.
I think that's a trick question because anything I say, I'm going to have somebody backlash. So
You're going to be shilling your positions.
I don't call them sheet coins. I call them trading coins. Ones that I don't mind if a trade goes south and I can't get them back as long as I can make some profits on the way up. And I think my favorite trading coin, just because how volatile it really is, would probably be Tron. You've seen several pumps and then almost 100% retracements in which you can get 40% more on your position and you do it again. So that one I've used to trade quite a bit. Go.
Interesting.
Take a look at some charts. People want you to look at Monero. And Taj asks, is the ETC next leg coming? That's what I want to talk about. When all these coins blew up, ETC stayed almost flat. And it was up like 2%. So it was actually down for the day in Satoshi price.
Right.
I'm telling you right now, that thing is begging you to accumulate it. We already know it's available on the OTC market. So that means when ETFs are available, it probably will have an ETF. It's already now announced that it will be in Coinbase. It will be in the Coinbase index as well. And I think it's a very misunderstood project that has the partnership with IOHK, has like 3 separate development teams. And if you go check out their new roadmap, I mean, it's interesting. I don't own much at all. It's probably like my number, I don't even know, probably like 5% of my portfolio maybe. But I think it is begging to be accumulated right here. And all of my Ethereum Classic, I never even purchased. I just kind of mined them with my at-home miner back in the day. So
if we're dropping any frames.
No.
Because I'm having an issue with TradingView. Usually that means we're starting to drop.
Corey Roberts says, Nick, are you still long-term in LTC? Yes, I still think LTC is a good investment for the risk-to-reward ratio, but I have reduced my position size in Litecoin since it has been acting so negatively. But like I said, for the index, for the institutional money, all these trading desks, Litecoin is going to be a part of all those groupings. So I would definitely keep an eye on that one because it's going to have I'll call it the uneducated money. Institutional investors don't care to really use the cryptocurrencies. They're in it for the investment in their speculation. And if LTC is part of all these funds, obviously that has to be holding the underlying, which will be LTC, and that should there, in fact, drive the price of LTC higher. But I did reduce my position size a little bit on Litecoin.
I'm having a little bit of issues over here.
Ruby said, had to take an emergency call for work just before you came on, all down and ready for the info. Shout out to you, Ruby. Make sure to go back and watch the beginning of the show. Looks like Todd's having a little issue, so we'll go over...
looks like I am.
We'll go over some of these other news articles I got. And if you guys have any questions or anything, go ahead and let them rip. Johnny M. Cool says, what is Tron's purpose other than having a fanatical followers? We kind of talked about that. Essentially, they're trying to change the whole... They have like a broad scope of things they want to do, but really changing the whole internet industry as a whole. I mean, you got to look into it. They have like so many different ideas that they have going on, and their founder is like the best marketer ever. They really, like you said, have a very strong community. I don't like to use the word cult because it's just a lot of hardcore believers, a lot of hodlers, and that's why the price moves so volatile, and that's why I like to trade it. I still have Tron in my portfolio right now, but I like to scalp trade that when possible. So what do we got here? Grayscale today at the Yahoo Finance Festival or conference or whatever you want to call it announced that their next fund will be around ZEN Cash. Grayscale Investments is launching its 9th investment product this year to come out in the 3rd quarter, so within the next couple months. And this will be called the ZEN Cash Investment Trust, and we focused on the cryptocurrency ZEN. So that was pretty interesting. That is good to see. Obviously, we knew that Barry Silbert was a supporter of ZEN, but this is the first time that it is going to be publicly available to traditional markets. And I think it's probably just going to be an OTC fund to begin with. But like I said, if ETFs start coming into play, ZEN already has the OTC. It will be high on the list to start moving over into indexes and ETFs. And in those kind of investments, the underlying is held as well. And you're going to be getting a lot of people that pay the premium for these freaking OTC funds. Like I said, the Ethereum Classic OTC fund right now, earlier today, was selling for like $39.50. When me or you change and buy it for $14. Do the math on that premium, and that is ridiculous. So another step in the right direction for ZEN Cash, and really another step in the right direction for the entire cryptocurrency